trail running is not a sport, it's actually a movement. And yeah, I think when you put on an event like the Otter, that's got to be your foundation. That's the yacht my dad built, in the middle of the desert, 500 kilometers from the sea. Our parents were living in a caravan. In my case, it was in northern Namibia, and John was born in the Northern Cape. So pretty much our first sights, our first visions, the first things we ever saw were endless horizons and these great landscapes of bushveld. Our exposure to these big wild landscapes from a young age meant that we naturally fell into sports which explored these landscapes, which pushed the limits of these landscapes. John, I don't think he ever knew what it was like to get beaten in a race. We never actually seemed to be able to go for a nice little run together. At some point it was going to hurt.
Adventure racing had started the year of Camel Trophy, 98 in South Africa, and the following year I jumped into it as well. And then Mark came back 2 years later and we formed a team, didn't look back. From there the progression was onto Camel Trophy.
So you would drive to as close as you could to the checkpoints, and then you would either ski or mountain bike or kayak or snowboard or whatever to get to the point, and then back to your vehicle and then travel to the next one. So our event was probably more than 5,000 kilometers long. These endurance events strip you down to your core essentials. You drop down, all your barriers, all your front, and you get to engage with nature on something that's almost primal to us. It forms a very profound connection.
In 2004, my birthday was coming up. We'd noticed that there was this Otter Trail.
Coincidentally, it's the exact distance of a road marathon. It's a 5-day hiking trail, and it's brutal and just happens to be 100% runnable.
We actually left our bicycles here in Nature's Valley. The idea was to run the Otter Trail, pick up our bikes and cycle back to the start. Yeah, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be.
And then it was every man for himself. We came up with a concept for a multi-sport event that was cycling and running. So the Otter was day one of a 6-day event. And we did not think that the trail running aspect of it would be viable. And I think it took us 2 years to realize that there was a lot of interest in running the Otter Trail.
It's just a nice gauge of where you are. You do the Otter and you know where you lie in the bigger scheme of things, past and present.
Despite it all, our biggest challenge remains: are we doing the right thing? What the Otter African Trail Run does is gives another way of engaging with nature. And another way of engaging with nature broadens and makes the connection that people have more profound. And it's hard to be optimistic sometimes. But then I see our ethos of leaving things better because you were there. I think, when I see that resonates with people, I think that gives me a lot of hope. Despite no finish line in sight, we know from our adventure racing days that all we have to do is just keep moving.